Hello and welcome to 5 p.m. It's starting to sink in that Ahmedabad was an absolute disaster for India and that India has its task cut out. It will be a difficult road ahead. The journey has become considerably more difficult. Having said that, anyone who wants to write off the Indian team is perhaps doing injustice. Anyone who wants to write off the Indian team doesn't really understand the sport. Anyone who wants to write off the Indian team is perhaps doing it prematurely. I don't think the Indians need to panic. I absolutely think the Indians don't need to overthink. In this show, as you can see, I'm saying it's time to back the team. Abuse can wait. If the fans really want to support Indian cricket, this is the time to stand by the team. Social media means anyone who is not part of the 15 is a better player. That's not the case. It is the pasture is always greener on the other side. That is not the case. There are very good players in this team who have had very good performances in the last 12 to 18 months, and it is time that we back them. One bad night and one loss out after 15, 16 games doesn't really mean, uh, you know, it is doesn't really mean that this is a bad side. There is a lot of social media abuse, and frankly social media is a platform that gives poison a voice. So we all know that by now. It can wait because moment the two games are done and India wins both those games, the same people will start to say, oh, you know what a turnaround this is, how great the team turned things on its head. So you can see all of that. And there is a comment, Cinestream reviews, people are really pissed off on X. Everybody has the right to be frustrated. Everybody has it. These are all Indian cricket supporters, is what I will say. But none of these people have the right to abuse. They are not, the players are not doing anyone any favors. Nobody has gotten selected wrongly. People have not been able to make where they are without talent. So while you are absolutely right in asking questions, and you should, because ultimately as a fan you have your agency to ask questions, you should ask constructively critical questions, you should ask or make your points, and I will as well. There is no reason to stop backing the team, number one. There is no reason to turn completely negative, number two. There is no reason to say all hell has broken loose and it's doomsday, number three. And there is no reason to abuse anybody. No need of questioning anyone's parentage. Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav are not people who need to be abused at any point in time. They've done nothing. Losing one cricket match cannot mean that these people will be abused by anyone, because they don't deserve to be. And secondly, there is no way that anyone has the right to abuse a cricketer, or for that matter, any member of the support staff. And let us be all clear about it. If you genuinely want to support this team, or you wish this team well, this is your time to show support. If ever, when you are down, and I will say this from personal experience, each one of us have felt down, each one of us have made mistakes. I make mistakes every day. Each one of us have been in a predicament when things have not gone our way. That is the time when you expect friends, expect supporters to come forward and support you. That is the time, because, and frankly, this Zimbabwe support, West Indies support, I don't think is needed. India will win two games and qualify. According to me, South Africa, at this point, from what I've seen, I don't see South Africa losing, and India will control the narrative. India will win the two games and qualify. Nothing has happened that all hell has broken loose and everything is dark. That's not the case. Let us focus on the game against Zimbabwe. Let us focus on the game against the West Indies. Two will be sellout games, will be massive games for India, and I'm pretty sure the uh, আমার মনে হয় the thing to do is, at this point in time, if you back the team, if you back the team, it will be essential. And it is, yes, you're right, one thing at a time. You go one step at a time, one game at a time. Let's see what happens against Zimbabwe. You calibrate. You will be the team who will play that last game at 7 p.m. in Calcutta. Before that match, South Africa is going to play Zimbabwe, so you will know exactly where the thing stands. You will have your calculations in front of you. I absolutely don't believe that India doesn't have a chance of making the semi-finals or it's a bridge too far. Not at all. So while you ask your questions, and I will now, we will all ask our questions, we will debate, we will discuss, but at the same time, we will also be constructive. We will constructive because, yes, introspection. Somebody has asked that people, Surya doesn't accept mistakes or whatever. Absolutely, people need to accept their mistakes because introspection, acceptance, and subsequently implementation is the need of the hour. Until and unless you accept, until and unless you introspect, until and unless you recognize and acknowledge that there have been mistakes, there will be issues. I will take as many questions. And by the way, somebody is taking mentioned Sushant Mehta. Sushant Mehta is not a journalist. I don't take him seriously. So Sushant Mehta and people are not remotely. They don't know anything of sport. So don't give me such examples. I have respect for Sushant as a friend. He is doing what he wants to do. That's not journalism, whatever it is, something different. That's the social media genre. Sushant will remain a friend of mine, but let's not bring him into the sporting discourse because he doesn't qualify to comment on sport with any reasonable authority. He's a good guy. He's a nice friend of mine, good friend. But let's keep it at that. And I have respect for Sushant as a person. I don't have respect for Sushant in his journalism. And by the way, it is not meant for Sushant. There are many social media platforms which survive on that. And by the way, it's not his fault either. It's not the fault of these social media content creators. Unfortunately, the clutter is such that you are forced to resort to doing content of a certain manner. You are forced to resort to content which is sensationalist. You are forced to resort to content which will attract people's attention, which is clickbait, which is abusive, which you will mock people, you will meme people, you will do crass nonsense, you will stoop down to a particular level, and that's because you have to run your ship. Unfortunately, that's where the money is. So you will stoop down to a certain level because you have no other option. You need to make two ends meet. So absolutely understand where Sushant and his ilk comes from. That's why I'm saying he's a friend of mine. He's a friend of mine, and I understand where social media pushes you to do such things. Pushes you. It is under compulsion that people. You think he's not. He doesn't understand. Of course he does. For that matter, anyone does. But there are thousands and thousands of such content creators who will resort to abuse or bordering abuse, who will do this. And then at the end of two games will again 360-degree turnaround. That's not that they do it under compulsion because unfortunately that's the kind of poison that social media breeds. And I don't see a way out of it, and that's why all I can say is appeal. I can say that I will tell everybody that this is the time to back the team. This is the time to stand by the team. This is the time to ask constructively critical questions, but at the same time, do not go over the top, turn sensationalist. By the way, if people ask me, has your platform not been sensationalist? Of course we have. You can give me 20 examples, and I've done a column today. Boria, your platform has been sensationalist here. Yes. Your platform, so and so reporter, has been sensationalist here. Yes. And the criticism is as much for me. Because look, today the success of Rev Sports and the number of brands behind Rev Sports, the support behind Rev Sports, the kind of strength that we have in Rev Sports has empowered me to kind of say what I'm saying. Otherwise, if I was under compulsion to pay salaries to 55 people, I would have also resorted to something which would have bordered on the sensationalist and the jingoist. So it's not as if I am shielding myself from that kind of criticism. I am as much liable to be hauled for saying that, oh, you know what, your people have also done this in the past, and you are subject to as the same amount of criticism or the same kind of criticism. So it's not as if I am saying I am holier than thou, or for that matter, our platform is holier than thou. That's not the case. Red Sports now is in a position of strength whereby we can control the kind of narrative we want to put out. We can control the kind of work journalists can do. So that's a point I want to be very clear about. I'm not calling myself holier than thou under any circumstance, because no one, none of us are holier than thou or claim to be holier than thou. Now coming to the constructively critical points and the changes. Firstly, Indian team has arrived in Chennai. Indian team has arrived in Chennai, and they have landed in Chennai about 2 hours back, and they will practice tomorrow. They will practice tomorrow. There you go. The visuals that you are seeing. They will practice tomorrow between 6 and 9 p.m. in the evening, and day after tomorrow they will practice between 2 and 5 p.m. in the afternoon. This is exactly the same pattern as ahead of every game. Both teams will get one practice under lights. So India gets the practice under lights tomorrow between 6 and 9, and West Indies will get the practice under lights day after tomorrow between 6 and 9. India will practice between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. day after at the Chepauk cricket ground. So that's the training schedule. Gargi, Shubhan, and Rohit Juglan are all in Chennai. They will bring you all of the updates from the Indian practice tomorrow, and everything that the Indian team does tomorrow and day after, and of course on match day. So that's as far as the training schedule is concerned. From what I hear, in terms of changes and in terms of what is likely, I hear there will be two changes or possibility of two changes which can happen. One is obviously the Akshar Patel change, but I'm also hearing that the Akshar Patel change may not be for Washington Sundar. The Akshar Patel change can be for Rinku Singh. The Akshar Patel change can be for Rinku Singh because Washington Sundar on home turf can be given one more game. Rinku Singh, the management believes, has not done enough with the bat, and there could be a case where Rinku Singh is omitted and Akshar Patel gets a look in. One thing is for certain, Akshar Patel will play. In whose position he will play, either Rinku Singh or Washington Sundar. From what I hear, it could be Rinku Singh. It can be Washington Sundar as well, but chances are match day -3 that it could be Rinku Singh who replaces, or rather in whose position Akshar Patel makes the team. The second change that India is mulling, the second change is obviously the Sanju Samson change at the top of the order, because now it's known that every team will try the off-spin option against India. South Africa, Aiden Markram; Pakistan, Salman Ali Agha; Netherlands, Aryan Dutt; West Indies, Roston Chase; Zimbabwe, Sikandar Raza. So clearly, to counter this off-spin issue at the top of the order, India is mulling the Sanju Samson option, that he goes and takes strike against the off-spinner, and Ishan Kishan goes down to number 3 in Tilak Verma's position. So Tilak Verma will possibly miss out or can miss out, and Washington Sundar stays on. So Tilak Verma and Rinku Singh might miss out, is what I'm hearing. There could be changes when the team management takes a look at the pitch and mulls over these things over the next couple of days. But as of now, the possibility is Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan, rather Abhishek Sharma opening with Ishan at 3, Surya at 4. What this does is left, right, left, right. So you combat that off-spin threat that the opponent is trying every time India is opening. The last 3 innings, India's opening partnership 0, 0, and 1. So, or rather 1, 0, 0, something like that. So clearly, you are going to bring in that change whereby the left, right combination will happen. So Sanju Samson, right-hander; Abhishek Sharma, left-hander; Ishan Kishan, left-hander; Surya Kumar Yadav, right-hander. So you will try that option. So these are the two changes that I'm hearing can possibly happen. But more than the changes, more than the Aksar Patel omission, the fact is India did not capitalize on the moments. India did not capitalize on their gains in the first 20 minutes of the game. India did not take their chances. South Africa, people call them chokers. I think that tag is of the past. I think under Temba Bavuma, South Africa has turned a new leaf. They are a fine side, a team that goes on to win the WTC under immense pressure, the team that beats Australia there, the team that comes to India and hammers India in a test series, the team that played last night is an absolute quality cricket side. There is no two ways in my mind that South Africa, one of the favorites to go the distance, and there was no sign whatsoever of choking. That's where India needs to be smart. Now, when I say smart, what do I mean? You see, there were multiple instances yesterday when India kind of handed the opponent the reign of the game. Two no balls. Two no balls in a Super 8 game. Two no balls in a Super 8 game is literally criminal. You consider two no balls, there were singles as well, so 4 runs there. Two from the two no balls, the 2 runs that were run, plus two free hits. David Miller hits one over long on Hardik Pandya, who had started with a brilliant first over. All of a sudden, the rhythm went for a toss, and the second six of Shivam Dube. Shivam Dube had just picked Devald Brevis. Tristan Stubbs had come into bat. He conceded a single off that no ball, so 2 runs there, and David Miller finishes that over off with a 6 over point. Now that's where 8 runs and Hardik Pandya 8. So 16 runs were conceded of no balls. Now you add those 16 runs to the South African tally, it becomes 187, which should have been 170. It doesn't end there. There were at least 3 or 4 occasions when India could have been smart on the field. Washington Sundar darting down when all he needed to do, he was never going to be able to reach that catch of Hardik Pandya's bowling. And if you see, Hardik Pandya had his face covered because that was an elementary mistake on the part of Washington Sundar. Sundar should have just stayed back. Sundar should have anticipated the ball and preempted the boundary, conceded 1 runs, and saved 3 for his team. There were 2 such misfields also from Surya. So India conceded 15 extra runs on the field and 16 extra runs from no balls. So you considered 30 too many because of lack of discipline and because of poor cricket. If you decode this, you will understand that a score that should have been around 160 became 187, and automatically there was pressure. And then it was completely, how do I put it, indisciplined, unfortunate kind of batting. I mean, there was no planning. There was unidimensional approach that cost India. You know that Aiden Markram, you could have easily maneuvered a few singles. That first shot was unnecessary. Put Tilak Verma under pressure. 180 is not a 240 chase. You could have negotiated the new ball, couple of overs, and then played your shots. You could have calculated and launched an assault. Unfortunately, we did not see that from India. And that Surya Kumar Yadav was right. Surya Kumar Yadav said you can lose a game in the power play. Precisely what happened with India. Tilak Verma gets out, and then Ishan gets out, and then Abhishek gets out, and all of a sudden you're staring down the barrel. Where I thought India could have been smart again is when Hardik and Shivam were batting. Both of them reasonably experienced. Both of them pretty, very, very experienced players. Both of them should have just taken the game deep and got to about 140, 150. By getting to about 140, 150, what would have happened is your net run rate would have been much, much better than the minus 3.8, which is now. So you could have taken the score up to 140, 50, lost by about 35, 40 runs, which would have meant that the damage would be far less. The 78-run loss, the net run rate impact could have been minimized by some smart cricket from India. And that's what I mean by more discipline, more smartness, and more rigor. Having said this macro picture, I think it is time to back the side. I think it is time to accept that Ahmedabad was an aberration. I think every team is entitled to failing once. I think multiple mistakes were made and it's gone and dusted. However much we criticize, Ahmedabad is done. However much we abuse and people are abusing, Ahmedabad is a done deal. The scar is real. The loss is real. All of that is now past. whatever you want to do, it is the reality. So it is absolutely imperative and essential that we start to look forward, that we start to look ahead, that we start to look at the game in Chennai, win that one, come to Calcutta, win the game in Calcutta. For I still believe that if you win both these games and win them convincingly, there is no reason why you cannot make the semi-final. You will make the semi-final, is my assumption, and I will put my neck out here and say that India will make the semi-final. They will course correct and they will make the semi-final. It is a decent and it's a very good sign. One bad night doesn't make players bad players. That's not the case, and that's why I'm saying it is time to back the team. It is time to stay with the team, and thereafter, once they are out, and if something miraculously bad happens, then you can abuse whoever you want to. Even then, be critical, be constructively critical, and no abuse. So that's what I would want to say before I go into question. Let me try and take as many questions as possible. Abuse can wait. Wow, so true, says Viraj More. Yes, Viraj, abuse at no point in time is acceptable. People are really pissed off. I've answered that. Cinestream reviews, Abhishek, Sanju, Ishan. This will be top 3 in the next match. Aksar back in place of Sundar. Will be a direct shootout at Eden. Priyanshu, I am hearing Rinku might have to sit out. Otherwise, what you are saying is correct. Abhishek, Sanju, Ishan, and West Indies versus India could be a direct shootout. And I'm absolutely backing India to win that one and make the semi-final. So I don't think at all that India doesn't have a chance of making the semi-final. Some mimicry of Surya Sports Channel. Who cares? Who cares? I agree, sir. This is the best time to support our team. It is 100%. It was a bad day. Just move on. Make the right decision. Sabyasachi Basu. Really like your analysis. Thank you very much. Please comment regarding tactical strategy for upcoming Chennai weekend. What is it? IDH Gondwana something. The tactical strategy, if you play Aksar Patel and Washington Sundar, you're kind of adding to that bowling. You have multiple spinners in that lineup. Varun Chakravarti, one bad night doesn't make him a bad bowler. There are many right-handers as well where Aksar will come in. If you're continuing Washington Sundar, give him the ball and attack. Don't let, if there are early wickets, don't release the pressure and let people off the hook. Very smart on the field. That's absolutely critical. When David Miller came in, even the first couple of shots, they were misfields and went for boundaries. That's when the pressure was released. 20 for 3 South Africa. So at that point in time, you needed to be sharp. You needed to be focused. You needed to win the moments to keep South Africa under pressure and not let them off the hook. Aryaman Yadav, some are doing mimicry. Who the, such people are idiots. I mean, don't even care. Nami, why every measure applies to Sanju only has a hell of a lot of runs. Sanju, I don't think this victim card works. Sanju now will be brought in for a job to do, and one would expect him to do that job. It's a collective sport, it's a team sport. It's not about Sanju or Ishan, it's about the team. At this point in time, to counter that off-spin strategy, Sanju will be brought in, and I'm very, very hopeful and optimistic that he will do that job for the team. One thing at a time, absolutely. Boryada, I agree. Time to back our team. Hope we win this. What has happened was horrendous Super 8 game. What was our batsmen were thinking? It was a bad night. Accepted. It was a very bad night, Suman Avasthi. It was a night when nothing went right for you. It was a night when bad batting calls, poor fielding calls, and improper selection calls were made. But like I said, we can't undo Ahmedabad. It is now part of history. You have to move on and make the most of the next 2 games and get yourself to the semi-final. We are not pissed because we lose. Surya and co never accept. Like I said, Ryan Tendeshkata in the press conference did accept, and Surya Kumar Yadav in the post-match presentation did allude to the fact about the power play. So I do think there is introspection and acceptance. Sushant ka to maine already discussed kar liya. Like I said, he's a good friend of mine, but journalism, I don't subscribe to such form of journalism, but I understand their predicament. When you are largely dependent on social media monies, it becomes, because there is a lot of clutter. You have to comply to a certain code to earn your views, and that means you become crass, you become jingoistic, you become sensationalist, and that's where the standard becomes Very problematic, and that's where Rev Sports will want to make a difference, will make a difference going forward as well. Shashwat, everyone's talking about winning streak of India. Fact is that streak belongs to Rohit and Rahul Dravid. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It doesn't belong to Rohit and Rahul Dravid at all. Under Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav, India has a winning percentage of 85. It is absolutely nothing to do with Rohit and Rahul Dravid. Shashwat Singh, this is where it becomes problematic. I don't think Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav in the last 1.5 years, they've not lost a single T20 series. So it's not about Rohit and Rahul Dravid at all. It is about Surya and about Gautam and this particular team management. They've prepared a decent enough team. One bad night doesn't make it a bad sign. South Africa will win most likely. Exactly my point, Priyanshu. I don't think net run rate will come into play. That's exactly what I've been trying to say. India will qualify. Let's go. Cricket shots, I agree. Boryada, why Washi before Aksar? I could not comprehend that call. I think it was a wrong call. I think Aksar needs to be part of that side. I think Aksar is a gun player, a leader, and a very good player under pressure. Absolutely needs to play against Zimbabwe. Absolutely needs to. Shashwat, you've asked the same question 20 times. Rakesh Ranjan, tough to qualify. Let us hope South Africa. It's not tough to qualify at all. You will still win your 2 matches and will qualify. It's not a miracle that we are talking about. And still, it doesn't depend on other teams as well. So calm down. I don't think we need to overreact to one defeat. You think Abhishek Sharma should be backed by the team management? 100%. More after yesterday, he looked uncertain. Anyone will look uncertain if you've gotten out for 3 ducks. That shot was decent. That cut shot was decent. You've got to give him time. 150, and he will be back in sync and back in form. Now that you've backed him, you have to continue to back him. Tilak Verma, who's not scored a runner ball, it's less than a runner ball in this particular World Cup, will be the likely person to miss out, is my understanding, and that's where Sanju Samson will come in. Boryada, time to back again. Exactly, that's what we said. Abhishek, the problem with people like Sushant, but lots of viewers, they don't use their brain. Let's leave it, though. Let's leave it. As I said, they are also under compulsion because you've got to run a company. I understand the pressure. When you're on your own, you've got to run a business. Let's not spend time on what compulsions for other people are. Mandal Oyon, acha Oyon Mundal. Boryada Washike কেন 5-এ পাঠানো হলো, রিঙ্কুকে পাঠানো যেত না, 100 বার পাঠানো যেত. I absolutely agree with Oyon Mundal when he says why not Rinku at 5. He should have batted earlier. Washi should have gone down the order. Very fair call. Everyone in the dugout was shocked. GG team management players when they were losing the match. Did you notice that? Anyone would be shocked because it came as a real blow because this was not part of the script. And the manner in which they lost, the manner in which the batting capitulated, the way India fielded, the way India conceded, free runs, easy runs, no balls, free hits, all of that was shocking. I mean, I was actually thinking to myself, we conceded literally 25 runs extra. A target of 160 would have been so much different compared to 187, 190, and that's when the match was lost. Changes, Abhishek should open with Sanju, Ishan goes at 3, Yashpal Chaudhary, precisely what we said, and that would mean that Sanju takes first strike, which will mean that this off-spin ploy that most teams are kind of blindly now following against India could also be combated. Sharat Chandra, what is it? Sarat Chandra Yalamarthi. Main thing which got us 14-match streak under Rohit was keeping same 11, clarity of roles. That this team also got 16. I do think there is clarity of roles. They are trying to be flexible. Yesterday, I thought they overthought, and Akshar Patel's omission was a result of overthinking, which is not required. Aditya M. Tripathi, I think time is the best healer, was a nightmare. Sometime it got better still thinking we can win the cup. Precisely what I'm trying to say. Yesterday is now a done deal. Time is always the best healer. People will move on. You will also move on. Team has moved to Chennai. It is a fresh day, a fresh game, a new start. Just forget about the World Cup, that particular game in Ahmedabad, and focus on the next. You can't do anything, however much you go and bang your head against the wall, that result is not going to change. India will win the World Cup, says somebody. Let's wait. Let's not jump too far ahead of ourselves. Not typical an angry fan. Do you think this team lacks the experience? No, I don't think this team lacks the experience of Iyer and Gill. These people have all played quite a number of games. They've played IPL. They've been in pressure situation. Sanju Samson, several years. Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, Surya Kumar Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav, and Ashdeep Singh. These fellows have been around. So it's not about experience, Proshanji. Be thankful, lost game in the Super 8 and not the knockout match. That's what it is. You're entitled to one bad game. It's happened. India in the 2011 World Cup lost to South Africa. Women's World Cup lost to South Africa, went and won. Players are superstitious. Take all the positives that you can and move on. It is not, you have a major chance of making the semi-final. If you are true to your or calling and play two good games, I absolutely think India will. Aditya Tripathi, have answered that. Anshu Mishra, वेस्ट इंडीज वर्सेस जिम्बाब्वे साउथ अफ्रीका में वेस्ट इंडीज के मार्जिन जाने बिना कैसे पता चले कौन इतना बड़ा मैथमेटिशियन? किसी को नहीं पता चलता है मेरे भाई अंशु मिश्रा, किसी को नहीं पता चलेगा। पहले आप रुक जाइए, आप ये आपके हाथ में जो है आप उस पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट कीजिए कि हमारे हाथ में है वेस्ट इंडीज और जिम्बाब्वे को हराना, हम वेस्ट इंडीज और जिम्बाब्वे को हराएंगे। उसके बाद सोचा जाएगा कि बाकी क्या होता है। ऐसे ही आप लास्ट खेल रहे हो वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ इन कैलकाटा, बिफोर दैट सारे मैचेस खत्म हो चुके हैं। आपको पता चलेगा कि आप क्या चाहिए, आपको स्कोरिंग रेट क्या है, आस्किंग रेट क्या है, नेट रन रेट क्या है, कितने ओवर्स में आपको खत्म करना है, ये सारी चीज आपके पास मैथमेटिकल कैलकुलेशंस होंगे। सो तब आप ये खब सोचना। उसके पहले पहले जिम्बाब्वे को हराइए, पहले फॉर्म में वापस आइए, अच्छे से एक मैच जीतिए, फिर कोलकाता में आके नॉकआउट मैच खेलिए अगेंस्ट द वेस्ट इंडीज। मामला तो सीधा है, आप अभी वर्ल्ड कप को नॉकआउट की तरह खेलो, 4 मैच जीतना है, 2 सुपर 8, एक सेमीफाइनल, एक फाइनल, आप वर्ल्ड कप चैंपियन हो सकते हो। आपको ये वर्ल्ड कप अभी एकदम नॉकआउट के तरह खेलना पड़ेगा। आपको ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि आप अभी फिसल नहीं सकते हो, आपके लिए नॉकआउट खुल चुका है, आप एक गलती करोगे देन यू आर आउट। सो ये मानकर खेलो that now there is no more chance of a failure. The country will brook no failure. These are two of the most important games in the career of Gautam and Surya as head coach and captain respectively. Go out there and deliver. And देखिए, for champions, adversity brings out the best in them. A lot of these players are extremely talented and good players. It is time they embrace the occasion. It is time they embrace the moment. It is time they kind of push the bar and deliver. Simple सा चीज। लास्ट फ्यू क्वेश्चंस ऑन द शो, मैंने बहुत सारे सवाल भी लिया है आज। इट इज टाइम टू एंटर संजू सैमसन। आकाश, आई थिंक संजू विल प्ले बिकॉज आपको वो ऑफ स्पिन का जो थ्रेट है एट द टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर, आपको वो डाइल्यूट करना पड़ेगा। अंबुज सिंह, डोंट यू थिंक ड्यूरिंग पाक गेम अदर देन ईशान Indian team was not able to show intent? No, in that game 175 at the Premadasa was a good enough score. India ने calibrate कर लिया था and Surya for example played according to the situation. Shivam Dube played a beautiful Shivam Dube played a very decent knock of 27 of 17 balls, and I thought Rinku Singh came and finished off well against Shaheen Shah Afridi. Our broadcaster needs to understand 300 alert. Yeah, it was crass. One has to accept it was a crass advertisement. You can make advertisements not bordering on the jingoist, not bordering on rubbish. This was unacceptable. There was no need. You can make genuinely nice advertisements. There is no need. And we have seen sports advertisements in the past which can influence a nation. You don't need to stoop down to that level. I understand that the market is important. I understand millions of dollars are at stake. I also understand some market pundit will come and say, oh, you know what, but you are talking about the advert, which means people are watching. So any publicity is publicity. I understand all of this market lingo, but I don't think it is about that. It is also about credibility. It is also about sensitivity. It is about sophistication. And I don't think that was necessary. I think we need to be much more careful in terms of what we are putting out. And it's not really necessary to go below the belt and do something which is as crass as that. Very well deserved. South Africa was for the kill. They keep attacking. South Africa played a beautiful game after the first 20 minutes. Anybody who said they were chokers, they must realize that under Temba Bavuma, they have turned a new leaf. And under Aiden Markram, this is a solid side. They are one of the sides to beat. They've got depth, they've got spin, they've got pace bowling, they've got excellent slow bowling. Lungi Ngidi, 69% slow balls yesterday night. The change of pace was brilliant. I don't think the Indians did that enough. South Africa played an absolutely perfect game. Look at their batters. Dewald Brevis did not play the Dewald Brevis kind of innings. First 15 balls, he was literally at runner ball and then played those big shots. David Miller played an outstandingly good innings. And Tristan Stubbs again. took the game deep, and only in the last over finished off with those two sixes, and that's how accelerated. But other than that, held the innings together, controlled the run flow, got South Africa to 187. I thought South Africa played a very, very good game, and credit where due. And then Marco Jansen bowling beautifully. When you realize that you've given 3 wickets to Keshav Maharaj in one innings, you realize that you've had a very, very bad game. It's time for me to finish the show. There are many hundred questions, boss. I can't take that many. I think I've taken as many as I can. I've got to make some phone calls to my sponsors for the conclave. We will bring you every possible update from Chennai. Like we said, the Indian team has already reached. Our reporters have all reached. We will continue to bring in every detail. It is time to back the team. It is time to stay with the team. It is time to be constructively critical. It is time to ask the hard questions for sure. But please do not be abusive, not necessary, and stay with the team, because if there was ever a moment that the team needed support, this is when it is. Stay with the team, because not all is lost. And I still believe, and I say this, that India will make the semifinals. Thank you very much for watching.